The Dogs smash Marshall 45-7. A real big win for the Dogs over the Thundering Herd. Josh Epling, what's up? Hey, look, I think that this is a really good day from Georgia. I thought they really played well. I think that what you saw tonight was a lot of what I saw when Gunnar Stockton played at Raven. This was Raven County Gunnar, and I think that there's something to be said for that. He really did play well. Now Ryan was saying, and you'll see this. Well, we're going to record riding home right after this, but like I can only see so many things from the field. But I'll tell you this right now: Gunnar Stockton changes the math. And in a day where, in the SEC, it looks like Alabama lost. I'm pretty certain Alabama lost. You've got, Tennessee looked okay. Alabama losing. Texas just like kind of can't score. I don't know if Georgia has any like unstoppable playmakers. Zachariah Branch is really good. But I don't know if there's like any there's no Brock Bowers that I can see or know of, but I think that the way they played was so precise. Not precise. That's the wrong play. I think it was very surgical today, and I think that I mean, outside of like a few plays, the culmination of the game is about all you could ask for. I mean, 38-ish points from the offense. I think the offense looked good. I think you want to get Juan Gaston back in there. That could be a high ankle sprain. That's what Kirby said. We'll see. He's going to do MRIs on that. Make sure you're taking advantage. There's an offer code right down below. You can get one dog push for the next 30 days for $1. Okay, so a lot of these things that we write about during the week, insider tidbits, what we're hearing, what's coming, on Sunday. This week it might come in on Monday just because of the holiday. That's the sort of stuff you're missing out on. So take advantage of it. Get in there with your buddies. I thought it was really good. Rushing yards, 239. I can't remember the last time Georgia ran like that. Now, people say, well, it was Marshall. Yeah, but they didn't do that a lot last year against anybody. Like, that's a part that's got to be taken into account as well as, when you should impose your will on people, you should. That didn't happen a ton last year. In terms of passing, now, let me say Gunner real quick. So Gunner was 14 of 24, 2 touchdowns, 140 yards. I'm not aware that he put the ball in harm's way a ton. There were times where he was slightly inaccurate. He would prefer to be more accurate. Ryan Puglisi with a really nice touchdown, 5 of 8 for 59 yards. This was the defense was the other thing that like all the stuff that you want to see, they showed you in this first game. Like if you need some speed, you got Zachariah Branch. Now, the running backs were okay. I didn't think that Nate Frazier had his best day. And he went 11 for 47. He never really got loose. Dwight Phillips, on the other hand, Dwight looked good. I mean, averaged 12 yards a play, or a carry, I should say. So, but their main runner was Gunner. I mean, Gunner Stockton scored 4 touchdowns today. And listen, I mean, no disrespect here at all. For as much as people talk about Haynes King, what Gunner did tonight was the exact same thing. I thought Georgia Tech looked really good. Outside of the turnovers, I thought Tech looked good. But it's hard to know because it's the first week. And like Texas, Ohio State, was that Georgia Clemson 2021? Because I'm not sure I remember that game being quite like that. Like that game was like one of the quarterbacks just didn't look good. I don't remember that. Well, DJ Uiagalelei didn't look good, but he was getting his lunch eaten. With the exception of coming into the half, I'm like, here we go again. Like I told y'all, like right away, what they show you in the first quarter, in the first half, that's going to be what you need to see. I mean, they gave up 40 total yards in the first half. Like that is just nothing. That's total domination. That's what you want. They basically allowed 50% passing. They did not give up 100 yards rushing. They blocked a kick. Blocked a punt. Yeah, their primary ball handler scored 4 touchdowns. They went for 239 yards rushing. They didn't even allow they barely allowed more than 200 yards. This is what you should do to Marshall, and they did. And I think that if you're looking for issues, I'm just not sure I saw a ton of them. I'm not sure I saw a ton of them. I think the issues were you saw 3 important people, go down with injuries, which was Branch, Gaston, and Green. And it looks like Green is not overly serious. And I don't know that Gaston necessarily is, but you're going to want him when you play Tennessee and Alabama. Did you see him coming and smash that, I guess, DB? I mean, he just smashed him. If you listen, man, if you're from my generation, Juan Gaston's kid having success in athletics is like the lead. It's like Matt Harpering's kids being good at sports. There's no, like, this is not confusing. Like, this should be happening, and it is. Those two, we had to play those guys. They were on the same AAU team that we went up. They were a year older than us. Georgia Trojans, you know who you are. If you know, you know. So, Team Georgia Trojans. So, but Zion Branch, 7 tackles. Raylan Wilson, 7 tackles. Chris Cole, 5. CJ Allen, who I thought was kind of active today, had 4. Raylan Wilson with 2 tackles for loss. Raylan Wilson flashed constantly out there. And one thing for me as a photographer is you get used to numbers. And there were a lot of numbers out there that were making plays today. I'm used to number 5 making plays. I'm used to, number 4 making plays. You see them, you're used to them. But here comes 9. Here comes 19. Who is number 90? So all these things where guys are flashing, that's a different conversation than, these guys are young and all this stuff. This is a good team. I mean, I think that the winner of LSU Clemson, and that's going on, is just kicked. So the winner of LSU Clemson or Ohio State is going to be the number 1 team in the country. The winner of the LSU Clemson game or Ohio State is going to be number 2. And Georgia, I'm assuming, will be number 3 or 4 with Penn State right there. I did not catch all of Penn State. And this is not the same Marshall team that was there a year ago. A bunch of penalties. They had 6 for 42, way too many procedural things for Marshall. And you're not going to be real pumped up about that deal if you're them. If you're Marshall. I mean, there's stuff rolling through. Make sure you're taking advantage of our newsletter. It's the only free newsletter out there. That's not true, but it's free. It's the cheapest one. And it's the best one too. But again, Georgia, 6 of 16 on 3rd downs, completely adequate. 3 of 3 on 4th. They were 4 of 4 in red zone. I don't think they scored touchdowns every time. But this is not the game to judge Mike Bobo on. But I got to say that that's a lot of points. And they played pretty well. When they first got out there, they played pretty well. This is a good start for Georgia. This is a bad start for Texas's offense. This is a bad start for Alabama. Alabama is in a little bit of trouble right now. It's just what it is. I mean, to get your ass handed to you is one thing. To get your ass handed to you by Florida State is another. They're on the road. The quarterback from Florida State's pretty good, but they just got physically, they didn't tackle well. There was a lot of challenges for Alabama that I don't know immediately get fixed. I'll say this right now. They're going to come in here and probably play their best game because their season will be on the line. They're going to have to beat Georgia because I don't know with what they've got left that they survive at 10-2. So the Georgia game is going to be, 20-ish years ago, not quite, we saw the emergence of Alabama as a power in the SEC under Nick Saban. When they come back here in a couple of weeks, about 3 weeks, that will be their complete, everything is going to be on the line. It's going to be hard to argue if they start the season 2-2 or whatever it will be. It's going to be hard to say that this Alabama program is not completely dead in the water. And I think they play Wisconsin. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, who they play still. I probably shouldn't mess with my phone. But this was not a good look for the league. And, we're just kind of at where we're at with it. If I were, some of the biggest crowd approval today was from watching Alabama lose. People are all about it. They love it. But I think that there will always be a challenge in this league. It could be Auburn. It could be Florida. I mean, the one thing that's happening right now as well to Georgia is their rivals have gotten better. Florida is better in theory. Georgia Tech is definitely better than they were. It looked like Auburn is better. Are they better than Georgia? To me, no. But it's not like, you should go in there saying, well, they're going to beat Auburn by 17 on the road. Probably not. Probably not. I don't think that's out of the question, but probably not. I looked at the national championship odds during the Texas Ohio State game. Georgia is firmly, and I'm going to look it up right now because I'm a psychopath. Georgia is firmly the number two going into this thing, from not going into this thing, but at this stage. And so, what does that mean? Well, it just means that somebody lost that big game. But people, and I'm looking after now after Georgia's played, just to see the true sort of sycophants, what they think. Well, Georgia now, according to this second, is the favorite to win the national championship, the co-favorite with Ohio State at plus 600, Penn State just behind them, and then Texas. So it's sort of completely flopped. LSU and Clemson are in a little bit of a fight right now. It's what it is. But look, to me, that's what you wanted to see. It's that simple. When you're at Red Zone later today, going to visit Scott and Minnie on Clayton Street, and everybody's in there talking, and Scott will have the replay on. It depends on the time. I might have Carolina game on it if it's in the middle of the day. It's on Sunday. But, that's what you wanted to see. This is a good team now. This is a good team. And 45-7, he said, well, it was Marshall. Yeah, it was Marshall. And last year when they played, this is way better than Tennessee Tech. And next week with Austin Peay, they will not be the level of Marshall. Marshall, I don't know if they won the Sun Belt last year. I think they did, or they played for it. A lot of those guys left. But that's the level that Marshall is at right now. And it doesn't matter what your opinion is of the level of competition. It's not who you play. It's how you play. That's what matters. How do you play? How do you look? They look huge on the offensive line. Juan Gass's kid is massive. Ernest Green is a big person. These guys are big people. It was what should have happened today. Now, in terms of all of the coach, I'm not a coach. I don't know what a coach would look at. But I know I know football. I know what I've been watching for 25, well, longer than that. And I know what looks good and what doesn't. And that looked good. Now, again, how many turnovers? They had didn't they lose it? No, it was ruling incompletion. I thought that was a fumble, but I think you could have overturned that. No turnovers. You rushed for over 200 yards. The other team didn't even have 210 yards. The penalties, Georgia had 15 yards in penalties. If they keep up this way of playing, they will win a lot of football games this year. Texas and Alabama lost on today. Yeah. People say, "Oh, it's a bad look for the SEC." Let's just see what the weekend brings. We don't know what the weekend brings. We know Ohio State's good. We know that they, probably should beat Texas at home. They should. They did. It's not a certainty, but I think there should be some optimism. That said, Tennessee looked fine. They didn't look like world beaters, but they beat Syracuse a little worse than I thought they might. So that's something to monitor as the Vols. But the Vols, a lot of time, get off to good starts, like scoring a pile of points and so forth. Syracuse tried to get in that game, fumble for a touchdown. Tennessee, kind of opens it up from that point. So instead of being 17-10 or 17-14, the game was virtually over at that stage. I think it was 24-7, and it was over. Don't quote me. But I think Gunner is the story of the day for me. I think Zachariah Branch gives you some serious firepower. Dylan Bell is going to have better days. He did not have a good day today. And, but the people that are going to be really good, some of them are not even on this sheet. So you've got some Nate Frazier was basically had a day where he was sort of chilling out. It wasn't unbelievable. But Zachariah Branch did have a good day. 89 yards after a carry, that one play alone, people should be concerned about that. That's the sort of stuff you're getting, quick, easy plays, quick, easy touchdowns. That shouldn't have been a touchdown. I just kept rolling. I had to roll the shutter. Photographers know what I'm talking about, maybe. And because the sun was changing as that play happened. And here comes this guy's got a 10-second play. Most football plays are not that long. This guy is doing that, exploding, doing all the things. This is a good team. I don't know if this is a team that you know, should win the national championship, should do, I don't know. But they're a really good team. And this was a very good start to the season. And I think that when, you know, in the spring, you could tell with G Day that something was kind of, that they looked better. They had more playmakers. We didn't see tons and tons of that today, but we saw Branch, and we saw that this defense is definitely legitimate. And if you're going to win it all, you're going to have to lean on them. Now, when they go up to Neyland, it's going to be a different conversation. Gunner's going to have to play well. Tennessee's quarterback's going to have to be more consistent with his accuracy, stuff like that. But this was a very good start to the season. And I think that this Georgia team, there's reason to be excited. I'll just leave it like that. Sign up now. Thanks for watching.